So the optimal policies, there have been some studies recently. One notable study is by House and co-authors looking at comparing coordinated and non-coordinated shelter-in-place orders. And they find very interestingly, if these states are not taking any action, but nearby states are all taking action, it is equivalent to this state also being implementing the shelter in place. So that shows there is a spillover effect taking effect towards even for the states not taking any action. But the spillover effect is built on the sacrifice of nearby states. And that study is also using the social network data, trying to show that even for two eastern states like New York, Florida, they may still have a spillover effect because the compliance of shelter in place in New York may have a positive spillover to Florida because people living in Florida may have family members or friends in New York State, and they may interact with each other in social network, which may also promote some positive and coordinated efforts. And some other studies also try to do this, but most often those studies are either using epidemiology models or they try to look at one single unit about the optimization decisions of that unit. But in our case, we try to look at all cities in China, and each city is one unit of decision maker, and we try to look at the difference between the coordinate and not coordinate. And we try to use not use epidemiology models. If you attended the last two webinars, you see that our previous speakers already summarized the difference between epidemiology models and some socioeconomic models. So this time we will be using some economic models to do the causal inference, try to estimate the causal effect of transmission, using those parameters to calculate and compare the coordination and non-coordination. So this study also may link to the social network literature. In the social network literature, however, they usually not look at the change in the pairwise change in the link, like what we do, like restricting the route-specific travels. Most often, they look at removal of a node in the network. For example, if you are familiar with social network study, we look at the heap layer in a network, and if the removal of that heap layer have an effect on the spillover effect on the economy or society or the community. But in our case, very unique. We look at the direct link and the change in that strength of the link between the two cities and how that can affect the overall equilibrium. And we will show that the effect of a link, the change in the strength of a direct link of the travel between two cities will be a function or will be affected by the centrality. We measure it as the centrality of the location of the original city, the city of origin, and the centrality of the destination. We will show that in empirical example. So our results can also be extended to spatial interaction models where agents take network as given and the social planner can alter the strength of the network.